We got the 3032E loaded up and a 6-foot bush hog. And we're gonna do a little bush hogging on a place that we've done before. This will be about the 4th time I've done this farm that we're headed to do today, and I hope the last time. The guy's gonna sell it. We got to clean it up. We usually do it for food plots. I've made videos there, several videos there before. We do it every year for food plots, and it's food plot time. It's September something. 9th, 8th, 6th, September 6th. But the guy's gonna sell this farm, so we're gonna do it one last time, and he's gonna put it on the market, and we won't have to bush hog it anymore after this year, I guess. That's really not gonna break my heart any. Let's go get it done. All right, we made it. This is about 7 acres. Y'all have seen me bush hog this before, but last year we bush hogged it with a 5075E and a 6-foot bush hog. This year we're gonna do it with a 3032E and the same 6-foot bush hog. And this will be a good video for anyone wondering if a 3032E will handle a 6-foot bush hog. I don't know if you can see how well or how tall that this is growed up. It's not bad, but it is good and thick, and it's pretty tall. I've kept this farm mowed for about the last 4 years, so that's why it's not too bad. But we've only mowed it one time a year. I wish we could have mowed it more often than that, but the landowner didn't want to pay to mow it any more than that. So he usually waits till it's growed up pretty tall before he calls me, and let's get after it. Well, this farm is done, so we are finished. Let's see. Let me get my calculator out. It's 12:40. We started at about 9:40. 10:30, 11:30, 12. 3 hours. There's been some folks ask lately on a few comments on a few videos how I charge for bush hogging, or how much I charge for bush hogging, or how I price a job. So this job I charge $200 for, and it's about 7 acres. It may be less than that now that we're mowing. We may be mowing more like 5 or 6. But we done it in 3 hours. So if it's 6 acres, 3 hours, we mowed 2 acres an hour with a 6-foot bush hog. That's probably pretty close to right. But 200 divided by 3. That's 60. That's not a good number. That's 66.66666667. So we made $66 an hour. $66.66 an hour, I guess you would say. My opinion, that's a little too cheap for this. I should be charging a little more. But I've been doing this farm, like I said, now for about 4 years, and the guy's supposed to be selling this farm. So this is probably maybe the last time that we ever do this farm. So if it is, I am a little sad about it. You know, it's bittersweet memories, I guess. So if this is the last time I ever do this farm, you know, if he does sell it, that's going to be kind of sad, because you never know who the new owners are going to be, and they're not going to need us. You know, they're going to do their own thing. At one time, this was a horse farm. There's stables. That barn down there by the house, that's horse stables. And so one time somebody had 3 or 4 horses out here. You know, this nice little log cabin goes with this place and everything. It's in Mulberry, Tennessee. So if you've never been to Mulberry, Tennessee, it's beautiful country. You can look it up on the map or something. But you see that hillside in the distance. Somebody mowed that not long ago. And whoever mowed that was crazy. They bush hogged it with a tractor. What the owner said. And he said they did not have dual wheels, which surprised me. Most people bush hog steep hills in this part of the country have duals. Or, you know, you might could do that with a skid steer or something, but I did not see the tractor, but they said it didn't have duals on it. I'm sure it had a very, very wide wheelbase, but it didn't have duals. This farm here is a pretty steep, this is about as steep a hill as I can do with, you know, with this setup here, but we done it all with 3032E and a 6-foot Kodiak bush hog. And a lot of that up top there was pretty thick. It, you know, the tractor struggled a little bit, but it struggled with going up the hill plus mowing the tall weeds at the same time. The weeds up top there was the tallest of the whole farm, and they were pretty tall and pretty thick. Everything out here was pretty thick, but the weeds up top of the hill there were seemed to be the tallest, and that's where the farm gets the steepest. The hill, the grade is the steepest there at the very top. So you're trying to go up the hill and plus mow at the same time, and that's where it about run out of power. You have to go slow, and or slow, you know, slower than you'd probably like to. Plus the these industrial tires, when you get on terrain like that, these industrial tires don't help none. I usually have to tap the brake and lock the differential in to keep from spinning up some of the steepest parts. We're gonna leave all these weeds here with this guy, because if I take it home, all these seeds, I'll have these weeds coming up on my farm, and I don't want that, because there's a lot of weeds out here. So we're gonna get all these off here that we can. So I don't have a lot of weeds on my farm, and if I get them, I'm gonna have to start spraying, which I'll probably spray anyway, just because I do have, my pastures are in excellent shape right now, and I want to keep them that way. So I'm probably going to do some spraying next spring anyway. But yeah, in my opinion, like I said, we done this job for that price because I'll bet you can zoom on this camera. We done this job for that price because this is probably the last time we're going to do this job. If I continue to do it, I will have to increase the price a little bit. And my opinion, it'd be good if you could get $300 instead of $200. But I don't know if you could get that much. But if you could get up to $250, $260, something like that, would be better. Let's see. Because it took 3. I'm not going to use the acres in this case. I'm just going to use the amount of time it took me to take it, because I'm not real sure how many acres it is. So I'm not going to use the acreage. I'm just going to use the amount of time it took me to do it. So $250 would be $83 an hour. Obviously $300 would be $100 an hour. So maybe $250. See, you done it for $260. Yeah, so $250 would be $83 an hour. I think that'd be a better price to charge for this job. But $200, I mean, that's only $50 less, so that's not bad. So $66 an hour. So we come out pretty good on this one. All right, so we got it loaded up. One last thing about the rig we're using here today. If you want to figure up the overhead expense, you know, we figured $66 an hour for the job. The Kodiak 6-foot bush hog, I paid like maybe $1,200, I think, for this bush hog. I've had it for several years. It's probably 3 or 4 years old. So you can get the same bush hog now for probably $1,500, I guess, somewhere around there. Here in this part of the country, we get them at our local co-op sells this brand, and I've had 2 of them. I've had a 5-foot and a 6-foot, and it's been a good one. I'll probably get another one because I'd like to have an 8-foot. Not for this tractor; it'd have to be for a bigger tractor, but I'd like to have an 8-foot one day, and I'll probably go back with the Kodiak because I've been well pleased with it. And the tractor 3032E, we do have a payment on this tractor, so it's got a payment of about $200 a month. So you figure a $1,200 bush hog, of course it's paid for itself time and time again, you know, and a $200 tractor payment. So we let's see, we started with a full tank of fuel, and so I filled it up before we started. We're just a little bit below 3/4, so which is nothing. I'm not sure the exact fuel capacity on this tractor, on that tank, but it's not much. Maybe 5 gallon, maybe. I'm gonna guess and say it might be more than that, but I'm gonna guess and say. I don't know, it might hold 10 gallon. I'm not sure about that. I have to look that up and see. It might hold 10 gallon. But we use a little bit over a 1/4 tank of fuel, which is nothing. So you deduct that. I mean, you figure there's a lot of profit in that $66 an hour. There is a good bit of profit there. Especially with a rig like this. Now, some of my other rigs you've seen in the past, a 75 horsepower tractor and a $12,000 batwing bush hog, I'd have been done 2 hours ago, but there's almost no profit there. So I'm gonna hang on to this rig for a little while. This is the second 3032E that I've owned. I owned one, I had one about 5 years ago and I sold it, and so I've bought another one now. And it comes in handy around the farm. I will be making another investment on another cab tractor. I just hadn't made my mind up what I'm going to get yet. I'd like to have something more than 75 horse, and I'd love to have something with a power quad transmission, even if I have to go back older, like a 6300 or 6400. I've looked at a couple 6300s this year, and both of them were 2-wheel drive, and I just hate to get a 2-wheel drive. I'm gonna hold out for a 4-wheel drive. But maybe they had some of the older 5 Series tractors I looked at, like maybe a 5525, or I don't remember exactly the number on it, but I think it was 5525. Man, those are nice. They don't have a power quad transmission, but I don't know what I'm gonna get next. We'll just have to see. But this is as far as my bush hogging operation goes, this is my bread and butter right here. I mean, this rig right here is it makes more profit than any other rig I've ever had. On small jobs. You don't want to do anything bigger than this. It's like 7 acres, 10 acres max, 10 acres tops. You don't want to, because you don't want to be there more than one day. So whatever you can do in one day, I say 10 acres tops with a rig like this. But hopefully I can put that together and make a good clip on answer some of the questions you guys had about pricing, and I've seen some other stuff about profitability and bush hogging for the public. So hopefully that'll be some good information for you guys. So this is Labor Day weekend. So I'm about to stick these ramps back in here, lower that bush hog, throw a strap on it, and we're gonna go to the house and fire up a barbecue and maybe something cold in the cooler. See you guys on the next one.